video is not to talk about what happened in my divorce. It's just to let you know how I survived it. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel once again. Thank you for stopping by. As you've seen from the title, we're going to be having a sit-down talk today, and I'm going to be sharing with you today how I survived the most trying time of my life. So without any waste of time, grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, water. I got myself a cup of hot chocolate. Cheers. Let's get right into the video. Oh, that's so good. How I survived the most trying time of my life. So I'm just going to be talking to you guys or sharing with you how I survived mine. Now, you might not have gone through what I went through. You might have gone through any other thing that has been very challenging for you. If you go to Google and then type the most traumatic time of one's life, yeah, something like that, and then we have what are the most 10 stressful events in life, and it says death of a spouse, divorce, marital separation, being incarcerated, death of a close family member, major injury, marriage. I don't know why marriage is there. Being fired or laid off from work. So these are one of the things that causes stress. Mine was divorce. So yeah, so I'll be telling you how I scaled through. This video is not to talk about what happened in my divorce. It's just to let you know how I survived it. So if you're going through anything similar, or you're going through one of the top 10 stressors I've just found on Google, you could adopt one of the strategies I use, or you could adopt one of my strategies to help you. You never know, it might help you. So and you really want to wait for the last part, because that was the best strategy that really helped me to scale through. So if I'm looking down, sorry, I've got it written down on my iPad, so I'm just gonna, so that I don't blab, that's why I wrote them down, so that we can, you know, go quick in this video. Right, so yeah, I'll start with, so a few years ago, yes, I went through the most challenging time of my life, the most difficult time of my life. So the reason I'm making this video is to share all the things I did to help myself not to go insane. This is what I wrote down, and to keep me mentally safe. I remember I searched online, I searched on Google, I searched on YouTube. I was just looking for stories or how people survived. Well, I did put divorce there, but you know, how did people survive these stressful times of their lives? So, and I search a lot on YouTube. This is the reason why I'm giving back, because I learned a lot online, and I'm also giving back just in case anybody wants to learn or needs, you know, a strategy to help them survive. I will start with family. So if you have a family like mine, you were blessed. I wasn't judged. They didn't judge me. I think with my case, obviously when divorce happens, it doesn't just happen like that. It's been brewing for years. So obviously my parents had knowledge of what's been going on for years, so they knew what was happening. And when the divorce came, you know, they were very supportive. And my parents also live back in Nigeria, so yes, it was a lonely time. I was here alone, but I have an auntie here, I have an uncle here, and they really helped me through, you know. My parents listened to me. They didn't judge me, they didn't condemn me, there was no telling off. I was already going through a lot. I had already made mistakes, you know. I had already been told off. Life had already told me off. I did not need anybody else to come and tell me off. I just needed help to go through. And in my case, I went through it for about 4 no, yeah, close to like 3-4 years, because I went in and out of court for about 2 years or 4 years. 4 years, yeah, 4 years, yes, in and out of court for about 4 years. So it was a lot, it was a lot. And yes, so they didn't judge me, they didn't condemn me, they didn't tell me off. You know, my parents were already aware of the situation, they knew what was happening. I remember my parents used to call me every night. My parents are doctors. They used to call me every night and they would say to me, okay, get the BP machine, check your blood pressure and tell us the number every night for a long period, which was amazing. So they would check, so I would check my blood pressure, I'll tell them, and gladly my health was fine. I give God all the glory for that. You know, I didn't have any high blood pressure. I did have palpitations. I had a lot of palpitations. I think I was very anxious, I was very nervous, and my heart was beating so fast. It felt like it was beating out of my chest. I could hear it. And yeah, it was more of anxiety, and I was so nervous, and if I didn't look after myself, it might have gone up to my mental state and ruined the whole thing. So I had to like look after myself. So like health wise, physically, you would see me, you would think, are you sure you're going through anything? But up here, I was going through a lot. And I'm one person that I have a very active brain. My brain goes boom, boom, active, like everything is going on in there. So I needed to put it in check. Anyway, they used to call me every night, my parents, and they tell me to check my blood pressure, and then they would encourage me with words. They would pray with me. My dad used to say, remember how you used to pray when you were young? You were like the prayer warrior of the house. Yeah, prayer warrior. You were like the prayer warrior of the house. You were this, you were that, you know. Have you forgotten how to pray? Pray to God to help you, to stand by you, to see you through. So that was really good for them to encourage me. And then I think got to a point, my dad said to my mom, okay, you know what, you're flying to UK, go and check on my daughter. And it was so good that my mom came over at some point, stayed with me, and then she just supported me. She just stood by me. I think there was a point my mom saw what I was going through and she felt sorry for me. We're very emotional in my family, and she was crying, and I said to her, why are you crying? Don't cry, I'm good. Like, I'm the one going through stuff, I'm not crying. Mama, don't cry. I think at this point I had cried. Like, there were no more tears. The tears were gone, like zoop. No more tears. So I had cried and I couldn't find any more tears. So I was strong and I said to her, you're not crying here, Mama. I'm good. So she came. I felt supported by them, and then my extended family here as well in the UK. Like I said, I have auntie and uncle here, and they followed me to court a few times, and she would speak to me. And my auntie works at the mental hospital in the UK, and she would say to me, look after yourself, go out, watch Netflix, don't think about it, because you don't want to end up in a psychiatric hospital. You don't want to, and if you end up there, who's going to look after your kids? You know, you need to keep yourself mentally sane. You need to check your mental health is okay, which was amazing. I'm very grateful as well. And of course, my parents never ever stopped praying for me. They always prayed for me, and I believe their prayers really helped me, and their prayers worked a lot. So yeah, family did very well. So like I said earlier on, these are the things that helped me, or the people that helped me. Might not be in your case, so please follow along. Something else I say might help you. Friends, I'm very, very friendly, so I do have lots of friends, but in this case I did not speak to all my friends, right? So I have the very close ones, those are really, really close to me. I have the ones that, you know, we can call and chat and gist. I have the ones that I can go out with and go out to, or go visit and all that. But I knew the ones that were really, really close to me. I especially had one friend that had gone through something similar. She was already a single mom, and she happened to be about living two doors down from me, my neighbor. So, and one thing that I went through might not be your case, but yes, I was divorced, but we all still lived together in the same house for almost 2 years. I know, the worst time of my life. We lived together. So for her to be living down the road, there was somewhere I could, you know, take a break and come out of the house and go stay there. And then I had another friend that I could, you know, pack my bags for the weekend and zoom off and go stay with her where she lived, you know. And I had another friend that would call me up, babe, I'm taking you out, we're going out, whether you like it or not, we're going out. She'll take me out. So I had people that knew what I was going through. They understood, no judgment, just come. And if I wanted to like scream and yell and shout, I had a friend for that, you know. I had a very good friend that she would say to me, right, before you take any drastic decision, you know, before you say anything, before you shout, scream or get upset, just call me and just shout at me. So I would call her and I would whinge, I would moan, I would talk, and I would talk and say everything to her. She would listen for hours and hours, and then after she'd be like, we're done. And to be honest, that really helped because I had somewhere to let off steam. Because like I said, I was still living in the same house with my ex-husband and my kids. So I didn't want to, you know, let everything off or let off the steam in front of my kids. Didn't want to do that in front of anyone else in the house. Didn't want to do that at all. Just wanted to have my own space to, like, you know, and I didn't have that there. I wanted to be strong for the kids. I wanted them to see, oh, mommy is okay. And my kids are really young then. Mommy is fine, mommy is okay, we are fine. So I couldn't do that in the house and I needed space. I remember one day I was at work and I just couldn't carry on at work. I was just sobbing. I was just thinking about all sorts. My head was everywhere. I was just crying and I was hurt and I was crying. And I said to my manager, you know what? I'm not okay. I have to go home. And she was like, yeah, that's fine, you can go. But then remember, I don't want to go home because my kids are at home, the ex-husband is at home. How am I going to let off steam? There's family, there's friends, and I have a cousin that lived not too far from me, you know, then when I used to leave. And I just phoned her up to say, you know what, can I come over to yours? I just need some space. And she's like, yeah, you can come. So I went there, went to the room. I think maybe I prayed, I cried, I don't know what I did. I let off steam and I think I must have slept for about 2 to 3 hours. Slept, woke up, give her a hug, said thank you, and then went back home. So, good friends. Now let me read what I wrote because I've just been talking. Okay, so I said friends, or should I say supportive friends. So I had friends that would check up on me, and the issues started, you know, or it got worse after I had my son and I was heading towards postnatal depression. So I had a friend that noticed that, and you know, she was trying to help me out of it, and she would talk to me. She would explain to me that she's a doctor, and she would tell me and she'd explain to me that, you know, you don't want to fall into depression, it's not good for you, you just had a baby. So it would have been really bad for me, to be honest, if I didn't have supportive friends, good and supportive friends. I didn't need advice, I just needed a listening ear. I just needed supportive friends, and I'm so grateful that I got that. Okay, so I had a friend that would take me out so that I don't sit at home, you know, and fall into depression, especially when my kids were not with me. That also, I needed to get used to that. That was a lot to get used to, because I didn't think of having kids and then, you know, giving birth to children and then at some point not having them with me. That was hard, but I got over it. I'm good now. And now I'm like, when are you off? I need my me time. Yeah, like, when are you off, guys? I need my me time. But before that, it took a while to get used to. Another thing that helped me was having a friend that had gone through something similar, and she was able to help me. So I had a friend much older than me. She had gone through it, I think it was 10 years after, or 10 years. She had gone through it, she had healed, she had overcome, she's fine, or she's now fine. So she was one that really helped me when I needed advice. I remember the first day I got my letter through the post, my divorce letter through the post. I phoned her, and it was coming. It wasn't a shock, it wasn't a surprise, and it was coming. But when I got it through the post and I opened it, I think that was when it dawned on me that this is really happening. And I phoned, I wasn't crying, I just phoned up. I was like, oh, the letter is here now, and this is what's in the letter, what should I do, and as I was talking to her, I just broke down. I just cried. And she said, that's it, let it out, that's it, it's fine, it's fine, let everything out, let it out. You know, it felt like someone stabbed me in the heart and then twisted the knife. That was how, I would never forget that feeling. Horrible feeling. Anyway, and she was like, that's fine, let it out, just cry it out, it's fine. And then after that, she was like, when you're done crying, wipe your face, it's just started. So yeah, so that she was one that would give me advice. Like I said, if you need advice, basically find someone that has kind of gone through something similar, you know, or is going through something similar, that both of you can share experiences together and talk together. Other people would come and say, oh, do this or do that, do this, do that, but you're the only one that knows where the pain is hurting. I'm trying to translate a proverb from my language to English, and I'm finding it really hard. You're the only one that knows where the pain in your shoe hurts. I don't know if I'm speaking the right, but that's what it means. You're the only one that knows what you're going through. You're the only one that knows where it hurts and where it's painful, where it pains. So people call me there, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that, talk like this, don't talk like that. It's not going to help your situation at all. Just take advice from, number one, the professionals. Number two, someone that has probably gone through something similar and can, you know, understand how you're feeling, really. Are the only people I will take advice from. So my second point is supportive friends. I journaled a lot. I wrote in diaries, I wrote in notepads, I wrote in notebooks. I would write how I feel, I would write what I'm going through, I would write in my diary, this is what happened today. And writing in diary really helped me because I got myself a 5-year diary. So on a page you would see maybe 1st of January 2016, then 1st of January 2017, then 1st of January 2018, you know. So you would see all the years, and journaling helped me to be grateful again, because then I could see where I started from, my journey, and where I am. So journaling really, that in my diary really helped me. Like when the whole thing was over, you know, I had moved out, I had bought my own place, and I made my own kids, you know, and I'd go back to that diary and I would say, at so date 4 years ago, for example, I was probably in one, you know, cooked up room crying my eyes out, thinking, is this ever going to be over? So that gave me the opportunity. It helped me to be grateful. It helped me to be grateful to God. That's it. To be grateful to God, to be grateful to my friends, you know, and to just see my journey and how far I had come. And it is those journals that I have read, you know, that has helped me to do this video, shoot this video today. So another benefit of journaling is for those that want to write, say you want to write a book, you want to publish a book, and you want it to be about your story so far, go back to your journals, go back to all the things you've written down. That would help you. Say you're trying to have a baby and you're going through an IVF journey. You have a notepad, you write everything down every month, how many injections you're taking, pills, appointments, you know, write everything down. And at some point when you have your child, because you will have your child, there is always light at the end of the tunnel, you know. However how long the tunnel is, there will always be light at the end of it. So you will get to that light at some point, and then you want to share your journey with someone, you want to help other people, you know, that are going through something similar, to say, I've been through it, this is what I did, like I'm doing now. Journaling helped me. And it also helped you to, like I said earlier on, if you want to publish a book, then you can go in there. You have the raw material, you have the organic material. Do you understand? Raw material, which is really good. So number one is good for you if you want to publish. Number two is good for you if you want to, it helps you to be grateful to God, to be grateful to friends, to be grateful to the professionals that helped you. It just helps you to go through the journey properly. I used to write down my feelings. I could pick up my pen and paper today and say, today I feel like so, I feel like this, I feel like that. Like I said, I'm not going to be sharing what happened in my, like the details of what happened in my case, so I would not be reading any of my journals here. But I used to write my feelings down and things that I'm grateful for. Say something happened today and I'm so grateful for it, I would write it down. And it wasn't for anyone else to read, although it will help you if you're going through a very dangerous, something really bad, something really dangerous, say domestic violence. Yes, it helps that you write things down, so when you come out of it, you know, and the professionals, the police, or whoever need information, writing things down helped me to let out my feelings. It helped me to count my blessings as well, like I said earlier on. So when I go back to read, like I said, I date them. Sometimes I put time, sometimes I don't put any time. And I then look at myself now. It helps me to see where I'm coming from, helps me to see what I've been through and how I have overcome. So I wrote in diary, I wrote in notebooks, and they really helped me. And also, say you want to, like I said earlier on, if you want to publish a book and talk about what happened to you, you have the OG. That's what I wrote down. You have the OG script. So journaling is good. The next thing that helped me was self-help and self-love. I needed to help myself. I needed to help myself. So my self-help or self-love really started when I started to live alone. Like I said earlier on, we're living together for about 1.5 years, I think. Then I was able to move out to live in my own place, and I felt free. So then I was living alone with the kids, and now I then had my own space. I felt like I could breathe better. I was free, you know, although I was still going to court, but I had my space. So I had space to do what I wanted to do. I could research. So I started to research how to heal from divorce. I went to YouTube. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, you know. I read so many resources on how to go through. There was something I then learned when I had space for myself. I used to have friends that used to take me out. Remember I said that? They would take me out. We would go out, you know, and they would help me forget. Well, at that moment, I would forget my worries. But when I come back home, I remember. So I felt like I was trying to avoid going through what I was going through. That's one of the things I learned from me researching, that you really have to go through it to get better. So I needed to take time out to myself and then go through it, and it really helped me. So now that I was living by myself, my kids would then leave and go spend time with their father. So at that time they go, it could be a week. During the holidays it was 3 weeks, you know, it could be weekend. I actually sat down, I did lots of reading, lots of research, and I started to heal, to teach myself how to heal. So that's the self-help and self-love I did to myself. So sometimes I would play scenarios in my brain, in my mind rather, that you should have said this. So time when this was happening, this is what you should have said. You should have said that, you should have said this. If you had said this, maybe to be like this, you know. I'll be playing different scenarios in my head, and then I said to myself, stop it. Stop it. It's happened, okay? The way forward is what's going on. That's happened. I can't fix the past. I can change my future. I can go through what I'm going through now to change my future, but I cannot fix the past. So I will talk to myself. And when I'm talking to myself about things, or rather when I'm telling myself off, I don't say it quietly. I speak out and I say to myself, stop it. That's gone by. That's the past. We're moving forward now, you know. So that's what I would do. I would say. And then so I allowed myself to go through the pain and to heal, because guys, whatever, you would eventually heal. You might not forget what happened to you, but you will heal. you will be better and you will be stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I was able to be better at managing my emotions. You know, I would listen to, I'm a Christian, and I am still gonna come to the best help I got, which is obviously from my faith. So I would listen to lots of Bible verses. I would listen to relaxing music. I would listen to non-stop gospel music. I just made sure my mind was occupied with positive things, which helped my mental state. I would speak positive affirmations to myself and tell myself I'm strong, that what I'm going through is okay. What I'm going through is what I'm going through, and I will come out of it. I would tell myself there's light at the end of the tunnel. Excuse me. So I will be fine. I would tell myself everything that has a beginning has an end. So this will come to an end one day. You know, I will speak positive things to myself, and then I would write down affirmations. So all my journaling, I used to write affirmations down as well. Then when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling sad, I will go pick my journal up, read my affirmations to myself, read everything out, and say everything to myself, and that helped. So self-help, self-love also really helped. Is believing in yourself, trusting yourself. Then counseling. Seek help from professionals. They won't judge you, they will just listen to you. They would offer you and teach you some coping strategies, which also helped. The kind of help that I got, the kind of counseling I got was, I preferred a Christian counselor because I'm a Christian. So aside from, so when I go for my counseling session, we would pray before we start. After praying, then he would counsel me, and then after the counseling session we will pray again. So that really helped me. But in your case, it doesn't have to be a Christian counselor. If you don't want one, you can decide you want a male counselor, you can decide you want a female counselor. Whichever one you want, you know, it's good to seek professional help. And they're quite expensive, I know, here in the UK, but you can go to your GP. They would it can get you help. The GP can get you help. But the best of it was my faith, you know, my faith in God. I remember when I was young, we used to, in Sunday school, if you're Nigerian watching, you would know, and you go to Sunday school, we would memorize Bible passages. John 3:16. Everybody knew John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his beloved son, that whosoever believed in him will not perish but have everlasting life. That's it. I still remember. So there was John 3:16. There was a course that I had to go through, and I had to learn the whole of Psalm 91, all of it, which I did, and I have not forgotten that psalm, and it helped me a lot. So I would read Psalm 91, I would recite it to myself. At least I know to open Psalm 91. I would open Psalm 121. I would lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. Hallelujah. I would read that. I would speak that to myself. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You know, I would just go through so many Bible passages which I learned growing up. So that really helped me. When I was going through all that, I didn't know how to pray. I did not know what to pray about. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to pray to God. And I used to pray. I used to know how to pray. But at that time, I didn't feel bad about it because I had invested in my prayer life a lot since when I was young, growing up. So I believe all that investment, I was having my returns while I was going through all that. All the prayers I had prayed, I believe they helped me at that time. So what I would do is I would join online prayer sessions. You know, I would join a church that does online prayer. I used to watch the people that I used to listen to and watch on YouTube. I would watch Joyce Meyer, amazing. I would watch T.D. Jakes. Then I would go to Miles Monroe, bless his heart. I think he's passed away now, bless his heart. I would listen to Sarah Jakes. So those people I would listen to non-stop. T.D. Jakes today, Joyce Meyer. If I'm feeling down, like I said, you know, I mentioned sometime earlier on self-help and self-love, that I needed to fill my mind with positive things. So when everything starts to go muddled up in my head, in my mind, and I start to have those sad and depressing feelings, I would just go to YouTube, Jesmaya, TD Jakes, Confident Woman. Boom, I will listen to them, listen and listen and listen and listen, and it will help me. So those resources, my faith in God helped me a lot. God bless YouTube. There are some channels that recite Psalm 91 for 8 hours non-stop. That was when I discovered it. So I would put my AirPods in, I would play Psalm 91, and I would go to sleep with it till the next morning. I would Google Bible passages for sleep, relaxing music for sleep, this for sleep, Bible passages for when you're going through hard times, the Bible passages for when you're going through stressful times. Then they will start playing, and there will be someone reciting it to me in my ears, and I'll just listen to it. Most times I fall asleep, but that, you know, it really helped me. And then I think more of TD Jakes and Jesmaya helped me to get my confidence back. I lost everything in myself. I needed to rediscover myself. I needed to find myself again. And then I needed to let go. You know, let go of all the hurt, let go of all the pain. I needed to move on. I got fed up of being hurt. I got fed up of being upset. You know, I got tired of being in pain. I needed to let everything go. So all this, you know, all this was they're more mental. All I was listening to were words of encouragement, how to regain my confidence, to know that God still loves me no matter what, being steadfast in my faith in God, being steadfast, holding on to the word of God, holding on to God, holding on to my prayers. I prayed, and when I could remember to pray, if I didn't know what to pray, I'll pick up a psalm. One passage that really, you know, kept me going was that there's a passage that goes, surely there shall be an end, and my expectations shall not be cut off. Remember I said earlier on that whatever has a beginning will surely have an end. It's in the Bible, surely there will be an end, and your expectations will not be cut off. So whatever you're going through, that tunnel you're going through, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Always light. So if you keep crawling, there's always light at the end of the tunnels. And one of my very good friends always said something to me, and she would say to me, you're not the first person that will go through this, and you will not be the last. There is nothing new under the sun, is what the Bible said. There is nothing new under the sun. So I joined so many groups. I joined a Facebook group called for single moms. You know, I joined Facebook group for people going through divorce. You know, I joined so many, because I'm not the first going through, and I will not be the last. People have gone through, people have scaled through. How did they scale through? How did they go about it? What did they do? You know, I mingled with people that we had similar issues, similar problems, similar situations, and that really also helped as well. I joined several prayer groups, like I mentioned, online, especially on YouTube. I fed my soul with the word of God. I fed my mind with the word of God. I fed my spirit with the word of God. And eventually I was getting my prayer life back, and I started to pray. I was especially praying for my children, and I was saying to God, you know, this thing that happened to me stops at me. Don't let it extend to my kids. I prayed so much for my children. I started to regain myself. I started to find myself again. I started to find what I like to do, what I enjoy doing, you know. And yes, so the word of God really helped me. Another one says, for his thoughts towards me are of good and not of evil, to give me hope and expected end. I would write the Bible passages somewhere up here for you. So yeah, conclusion, all these were my coping strategies. All these helped me to stay sane. They helped me to stay strong, and I was able to manage my situation and my emotions well. All this helped me to control how divorce affected me. So I was able to control it. I didn't let it control me. I controlled it. And your situation, like I said, might not be what I went through, and it could be what I went through. Points to remember: do not isolate yourself. Try so hard not to isolate yourself. If you got family around that are supportive, hook onto that. If you got friends that are very supportive, hook onto that. if you need to go to groups. So don't isolate yourself at all. Talk to someone, seek professional help if you need to, seek medical help if you need to, and then find your coping mechanism. Speak positive to yourself. Remember, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Remember, there will be an end to whatever you're going through, and you will be fine. So that is how I survived the most trying time of my life. Thank you guys for watching, and if you waited to the end of this video, thank you so much for listening. Even if it's one person that this helps, I will be very grateful. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Cheers.